Hey guys, it is Cassandra, your favorite relationship coach, and I inspire men to create incredible memories with their loved ones. I'm here with my buddy Chad Scott.
How you doing? Chad Scott here. Relationship, life coach, and very big on accountability and being an accountability partner.
And we are coming to you guys with a classic. If you have not seen the movie Boomerang, I don't care how old you are, as long as you're 18 and up, you gotta see this whole movie. But we're gonna share one of the famous clips
of the movie. Boomerang is one of my favorite movies of all times.
Me too.
You couldn't tell me when I was a kid that I wasn't Marcus Grant.
Oh,
the way I move, I already had, you can see the vibes.
I know.
So I was him. So that's why it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But this clip is one of the clips where iconic clips.
Definitely iconic.
Great song came out of this moment. So we're gonna talk about it and we're gonna break it down.
Yes. We're going to talk about this clip. We're going to break down. So the topic that we're talking about really is like just toxic relationships. We don't believe in toxic people. I don't even really like using the word toxic because it implies that just all of it, like nothing can be salvaged from it.
Okay.
And I do believe in transformation. So it's not that's how we describe it, but essentially behaviors that don't work in relationships. So I'm going to be talking about the energetic elements. Chad's going to talk about accountability. And we want you guys to chime in and share your thoughts. But we're going to do this reaction part first, and then we'll get to chatting.
Let's go.
How'd it go last night?
Okay.
Just okay? Must have gone pretty well. You didn't get home until the middle of the night.
Right. Here come the excuse.
I went for a walk so I could sort some things out that was in my head. I was tripping on.
Like the fact that you're still in love with Jacqueline, right?
Angela, I saw the woman and a bunch of stuff that was in me I didn't even know was still there came out. Things happen. There's certain things you just have no control over, right?
Really? Like what?
Like love.
Love. You know, what do you know about love? What do you possibly think you know about love? You know, I'm sick and tired of men using love like it's some kind of disease you just catch. Love should have brought your ass home last night.
Did you say I was sorry?
I heard you say you're sorry. You're sorry and you're tired. You don't love me. You don't love Jacqueline. You only love your damn self.
It's a fact.
How could you say I never cared about you? You know, Jacqueline says that I'm a better person now, and I know I owe that all.
He should have read the room.
Right. Disrespectful. He deserved that.
I'm out of here.
He had that color. I don't promote violence though.
Please later. Let me just tell you one more thing. I might not be all glamorous, and I don't have hair weaved all down my back, but let me tell you one great thing about me, all right? I've got heart. You know the bad thing about having heart, Marcus? Is that it gets broken when you deal with people like you. Now stay the fuck out of my life.
Yes. Okay. Love that scene.
One of the greatest scenes. Do you hear that Tony Braxton song come in your
Love
head?
should have brought you.
Woo!
Yes.
Home last.
Woo!
So, you want to go? You want to
No.
take it away?
So first of all, I just want to point out a couple of linguistic things. So I'm big on language. One of the things that I noticed was when she said, "You don't love me, you don't love Jacqueline, you only love your damn self." And he responded and said what?
What, in that line?
Yeah. What was his response? Remember?
No, it wasn't like that.
He said, "How could you say I never cared about you?" He didn't use the word love.
Got it.
I don't think that was by accident. This is why I am single. Because I'm going to pay attention to everything. But one of the things that I love about this particular scene, and first let me preface it by saying I love using media to illustrate and describe some of the things that happen in relationships that's a little bit exaggerated, because in a relationship things are a lot more subtle. We got emotions and things like that, but it's helpful for context. This is a classic case of vampirism, the Vampire Diaries, as I like to refer to it.
All right, go ahead.
Basically, what that is, and this is not about gender, right? So women do this and men do this. Same-sex relationships, opposite-sex relationships, doesn't really matter. What happens is someone is, in this case, which is Marcus, lives a dark life, right? Lives a selfish kind of life, or is around selfish energy.
Yes.
And they meet someone that bubbles and sunshine and sun rays and Skittles and bunnies frolicking.
Yes.
All of that. And they realize that they've been living in the dark.
Got it.
They didn't know it before, and now they see the sun. And so they have their shadow self and they have their sunny self.
Yeah.
And they have this combination. They didn't really get rid of the shadow element, right? They've become they have a newfound layer of who they are. And they share this, and they take this energy of sun and they go back to the shadowy people. And the shadowy people, this is AKA people who are also selfish. Think of themselves, they're leeches, and they want and they want and they want. They're not really thinking, they give to get. You know what I'm saying? It's even if it's sexual in nature, you think that the sex is great, but they're really focused on themselves at the end of the day. Even if it's because you're feeling pleased, it really is because it pleases them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like inner self in there. And when this shadow person who has the sunshine part goes back there, those shadowy people start to suck the sun rays out of them. And typically what happens, this situation was different, but typically what happens in most relationships is the person who has a duality now comes back to the sunny person, apologizes for not being there, apologizes that they haven't been available, apologizes that they've been inconsistent, and the sunny person says, you know what, I forgive you, you're learning, let's do this again. And the duality person continues to come back, siphons energy, goes back to their normal habitat, and they keep borrowing energy, borrowing this positive energy. By the time they are done, and it never really ends, the sunny person is now shadowy and is dark. And this dual person no longer feels attracted to them. They don't consider their ways cause this reaction.
Yeah.
And they disconnect. And the person is feeling depleted, upset, and angered. Now, in this case, I love that Hallie cut it off immediately. That was bonus.
I think for Halle Berry, and I talk about it all the time, she knew who she was dealing with in a sense. That he's a player, he moved a certain way. So even dealing with him, she knew that she had to navigate a certain way to see how he moves, to see that other foot drops, so to speak, and being a player. And this is why I always say about the more you love yourself, the less fuckery you entertain.
Definitely.
Because what happens in the moments is you know your self-worth. When you feel like you're getting disrespected, like when the sun, the darkness come to you, like, fill me up. You be like, no, I'm good. Like,
exactly.
You made a decision, and now there's consequences to your repercussions. I can't just sit there and use your excuse or the reason why you came back. I should be happy and all on. Like, you choose me. No. You decide to make a decision.
Yes.
There's consequences to it.
Yes.
And
accountability.
Accountability.
Go. Yes.
So now with accountability, is like, nah, go have fun. Go live that life, so to speak.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think that what happens is, for me, I'm always big on, you have to be monitored, be mindful of who you have surrounding you.
Yeah.
Dating wise. So what happens is, she knew he had to play his side, but he was trying to, they enjoying the moment. But it gets to a point where sometimes where people have to now, when we said love yourself, take accountability, that when someone's that toxic traits is showing up, you have a decision to make to see, would you entertain that?
That's it.
Would you reward that? It's something I call piss poor behavior. If you got piss poor behavior, I can't reward that, because you're going to feel like you can always get away with it.
Correct.
You're going to feel like, oh yeah, I'm just going to say the excuse, I came home. You should be happy I came home. You should throw me a party.
Right.
So in those moments, that's when you got to realize that, listen, I have a worth. And now if you want to take that person back, they got to be restrictions now. They got to be an understanding. You got to really understand that person have some remorse.
Yeah. I feel like when you know you've given your all in a relationship, something my dad told me recently, he said, When I come into a relationship, I give 100% of me. And I will not accept any less. I won't take 80%, 75%. I won't even take 90%. If the love of my life turns around and tells me that they're not satisfied, I will say, well, baby, I tried. Mm-hmm. And I think that we got to get to that place. So comment in the comments below and tell us what you think about this scene. Have you ever entertained a relationship far too long, or are you the type, once you see a red flag, you gone? Peace.